LCISD Science, Grade 7, Unit 3, Force and Motion, 2016-17. Number 1. Identify the situation in which no work is being done. Number 2. Identify a situation below in which work is being done. F. Turning a page in a science book. G. Reading a science book. H. Resting a science book against the wall. And J. Holding a science book. Number 3. What evidence proves that no work is being done on an object? A. An object remains stationary. That means stays in place. B. An object moves. C. An object has mass. And D. An object is rigid. A batter walks up to home plate with his bat, stands with his bat in the air, swings his bat, and makes contact with the ball. In which part of this situation is no work occurring? F. Batter walks up to home plate with his bat. G. Batter stands with his bat in the air. H. Batter swings the bat. And J. Batter makes contact with the ball. Number 5. How much work is done if a 2N box is moved for M? A. 0.5 J. B. 2 J. C. 4 J. And D. 8 J. Number 6. In a germinating seed, the downward growth of roots and upward growth of leaves and stems are the plant's responses to blank. F. Sunlight. G. Gravity. H. Osmosis. And J. Water. Refer to the diagram. What causes this plant's behavior? A. Response to gravity. B. Negative hemostasis. C. Excessive humidity. And D. Lack of turgor pressure. Use the 2 ramp pictures below to answer the following questions. A. 8. Who is doing more work to move the barrel into the truck? F. The man using the short ramp is doing more work. G. The man using the long ramp is doing more work. H. They're both doing the same amount of work. And J. There's not enough information to tell. Number 9. Who has to use more force to move the barrel in the truck? A. The man using the short ramp has to use more force. B. The man using the long ramp has to use more force. C. They're both using the same amount of force. And D. There's not enough information to tell. Use the following information to help answer the following 3 questions. Your teacher has asked you to set up an experiment on how the angle of a ramp affects the amount of force needed to move a 1 kilogram object. Number 10. Which of the following pieces of equipment would you use for this experiment? 1. A ramp. 2. A triple beam balance. 3. A spring scale. 4. a graduated cylinder, and 5, 1 kilogram mass. F, 1, 2, and 5. G, 1, 3, and 5. H, 1, 2, 3, and 5. J, 1, 3, 4. Number 11. Which of the following pieces of safety equipment should be used for the experiment? A, goggles, B, gloves, C, apron, D, gloves and goggles.
Taylor McCall, will you please come to the
Number 12. A weightlifter raises a 700 N barbell 0.5 meters above his chest. How much work in joules was performed? Record your answer and fill in the bubbles on your answer document. Be sure to use the correct place value. Make sure and use a triangle to help solve this problem. That's your hint. Number 13. In the diagrams below, two forces are exerted on an object. The forces are represented by arrows. The length of the arrow indicates the magnitude of the force. In which of the diagrams will the motion of the object remain unchanged? Number 14. Scientists on a space shuttle mission studying plant growth would probably see that the plants on the space shuttle do not grow in the same direction and pattern as those on Earth. Scientists working in space would most likely be studying the effect of which of the following on plant growth? F, friction, G, gravity, H, wind, J, temperature. Number 15. The diagram illustrates a seed germinating. Many forces, including responses to moisture, temperature, and gravity, are at work in this process. Which part of the seedling is demonstrating a negative response to gravity and which is showing a positive response to gravity? A, 1 is negative and 3 is positive. B, 4 is negative and 2 is positive. C, 2 is negative and 3 is positive. D, 3 is negative, 4 is positive. Number 16. Students want to raise a large crate from the ground to a deck several feet above the ground. They know it will be easier to move the crate along an inclined plane because the inclined plane will F, reduce the work needed to raise the crate, G, increase the force applied to the crate, H, increase the work done to the crate, J, reduce the force to raise the crate. Number 17. Paul is moving two identical boxes. He picks up box 1 and lifts it 1 meter straight up. This requires 180 N of force. He pushes the second box up a ramp that is 3 m long. This requires 60 N of force. Which statement best describes the amount of work Paul accomplished when moving the two boxes? A, it requires 3 times more work to lift the box straight up. B, lifting the box straight up requires 1/3 the work. C, pushing the box up the ramp requires 120 N less work. D, it requires the same amount of work to move each box. Number 18. What happens when a force acts upon an object? F. The object moves in the direction of the force applied. G. The object moves away from the direction of the force applied. H. The object accelerates upward. J. The object does not move. Number 19. A sheet of notebook paper lying motionless on a table and not touched by an outside force will most likely remain motionless because A. Balanced forces exerted by gravity and the table keep the paper motionless. B. An unbalanced force is exerted by the table to keep the paper motionless. C. Balanced forces exerted by gravity and the air keep the paper motionless. D. An unbalanced force is exerted by the air to keep the paper motionless. Number 20. What is the term used to describe the force of water inside plant cells that pushes the cell membrane against the cell wall and causes the plant to stand strong? You have a vacuole, and you have a full plant standing full, and you have one that's empty and it's drooping over. F. Phototropism. G. Work. H. Turgor pressure. J. Gravitropism.